One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
It's such a fun day, and we take so much enjoyment, and it's such an exciting day, and we're always checking out everybody else's stuff. That's half the fun of it. I think everybody does really intriguing and exciting things. It's crazy to look at how this thing's evolved over time, and from an interest perspective, it started with obviously, the fax cam, and gosh, to look at where it's come today, it's pretty incredible to track it. I think for us, the biggest thing we talk about everything we do, and we harp it to death. I think my staff will start to roll their eyes if they hear it, but we always talk about what is the why and make sure that we're starting with the problem rather than solution. I think it's so easy in a day like this where, it can tend to be such a copycat industry, and to some extent we're all playing with similar decks, to look across the board and say, oh, that was kind of cool that this school did, and what an interesting deal that they did over at XYZ State. But for us, we want to make sure we're starting with our problems, and then we're finding, solutions to those business problems, and working towards our objectives rather than trying to create the flashiest day or the most attractive digital day. We want to make sure we're actually aligned with our unique business goals, which may be very different than someone else's. And so a lot of times you'll hear, whether it's from football personnel or administration, or even from within our digital staff, someone else will see something really cool, because there's so much great content out there on a day like this. And I think our first instinct is just to try and replicate it. And maybe that is a solution that matches our goals, but I think we always want to challenge ourselves to make sure that it is, and that we're staying aligned with strategy. The ideas, the strategy, the things that you drive home to make sure you're accomplishing those goals, that's the fun part. But really the hard part, I think, is identifying what the meaningful goals are, so that when you actually do win the day, you're making a difference. It's more than just a cool website or something that my counterparts across the country go, wow, that was a neat idea. Are you really making a difference? Are you really adding value? That's really the depth that we're trying to. A lot of different ways. We try and assign as many metrics as you can, hard matrix, but some of it's going to be subjective, because you are trying to make impressions from brand perspective that can kind of transcend web hits or ticket sales or anything like that. I will tell you that the day actually just happened to coincide with our football ticket sales renewal deadline. So a lot of the things we'll do will be behind the scenes that actually won't be seen by public. So for us, winning the day could look a lot, it could be kind of a private win for us, so to speak, if we see some metrics assigned with ticket sales. But I think you got to stay kind of loose on that. I think it's as much metrics as you can assign to it is great. But at the end of the day, you also got to be a little subjective too, because, it's hard to quantify a 16-year-old's opinion or a head coach's preference of taste, or all of those other factors.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.